All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, October the 15th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me. As always, it's none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's been that kind of a day that it's still morning.
Oh, God, it's been the longest morning.
Wasn't that movie, The Longest Morning? Oh, it was The Longest Yard. It was The Longest Yard.
Or it's the longest day.
Longest Day.
I can picture the guy who was in the longest day. I can't remember his name right now.
Not sure.
I think he was in Paint Your Wagon with Clint Eastwood.
Who was that? Oh shit.
We got the internet. Longest day, was it? Oh no, that's John Wayne. John Wayne, Sean Connery, Robert Ryan, Robert Mitchum, and Henry Fonda.
Interesting.
I gotta go back and watch that. I completely forgot about that cast. Damn, that's an insane good cast. Lee Marvin was who I was thinking of. That was in Paint Your Wagon.
Lee Marvin.
I didn't even have to look that up. It just came back to me.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're right.
It came to me in a dream. Yeah, let's think about it. Lee Marvin and Clint Eastwood doing a musical.
What kind of a musical?
Western musical.
A Western musical.
Oh yeah. If you've never seen it, 10 minutes is about all you need. it's like,
Fair
oh
enough.
my God, please make this stop.
Make it stop. Make it stop.
I don't know whose idea this was, and I don't know why either one of them agreed to it. But at any rate, I'm cracking a beer. Fuck this.
So you're cracking a beer. Why are you cracking a beer?
Because we're on a beer show.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, we do a beer show. We talk about craft beer and a whole bunch of other, great bullshit. I mean, it's bullshit, but it's great bullshit because it's good to us. We like it.
That's true. I agree with you there.
Yes, but no, I'm cracking a beer. I'm not even waiting for the guests. Fuck that.
Right.
That's right. No, it's just the two of us.
It is just the two of us. And by the way, if you didn't read through the post, if you just stumbled upon it, or Facebook or Twitch or YouTube told you that the show was starting, so you just jumped on. Tonight is our 200th episode.
Oh, yeah, yes.
It is our 200th episode. This is our now. Keep in mind, this does not include special episodes or National Lager Day shows that we do, or when we go live,
quick go lives. Yeah,
quick go lives. Doesn't include those. If we included those, we're up to around 230 right now. But the actual Tuesday night podcast, this is our 200th episode.
You better ask me about this beer real quick because this ain't gonna last.
It's not gonna last that long.
No.
So, this is our 200th episode. So you know what? We'll come back to. We'll visit that in a minute. Why don't you? I'm gonna put this up. Why don't you tell everybody what it is?
Solstice Lager. We at Lager. Forest and Maine Brewing, Ambler, PA.
We at Lager. We at Lager.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wrong language. Solstice Lager. It's a 4.4% wheat lager from Forest and Maine Brewing in Ambler, PA. So this is the can here. So you see this just in case you forgot, there's wheat on it.
There's wheat on it. Yeah. There's we at on it.
There's we at on it. So
we at on it.
But I poured it into my Schneider Weiss glass because it's a wheat beer glass.
It's electric.
God, don't you fucking dare.
Well, we were talking about songs that get piss you off.
No, we were talking about songs that get overplayed.
Same difference.
And then, seriously, the first time that song was played, it was overplayed. What would you say was How Bizarre?
How Bizarre, yeah.
That you hated that because it got overplayed. And it's not that I hate the song, but Money for Nothing, that got played like every half an hour when it came out for probably a good 4 or 5 months. It was ridiculous how much that got played.
Funny story about How Bizarre. We're going to a party.
It's a funny haha or a funny bizarre?
It's funny haha.
Okay.
So we're on a chartered bus, smaller buses, like we get the short bus, those guys, right?
Oh, were you wearing your helmet?
I was wearing my helmet. No, we're there was a bunch of us. We're going out.
I was glad because if it crashes, I know how you like to lick the windows, so you have to take your helmet off.
I got to take the helmet off, right? Exactly. So we're going out to a party and we're being responsible. We hired a bus, right? It's driving us all around. We're doing bar hopping with a big party, right? And the one guy went to dinner first, then we're going to the party, right? And one guy brings one of the singles, if you remember, and this is many years ago, right, when they actually had them.
And then they even remember CD singles. They had CD singles.
CD singles too, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the singles, right? He puts it in the cassette player in this bus, and it over and over and over and over again. Probably like the 10th time it was playing, we're heading out to, it's well after dinner. We're heading out to like the 4th bar or something like that, and it's playing again. One of the guys from the back of the bus goes up to the front, ejects it, takes it out, opens the window on the bus, throws it out. Takes a $5 bill out of his pocket and hands it to the guy whose tape it was.
At least he compensated him. I thought you were going to say he did a John Belushi on it, and
just broke it up and beat it up. Yeah, exactly.
This one time we were at I was probably just recently in college, and we went to Chi-Chi's. Remember Chi-Chi's?
Remember Chi-Chi's? Yeah, absolutely.
And we went there, we're drinking pitchers of frozen margaritas, and we had the whole restaurant pissed at us because we kept playing Banana Boat song on the jukebox.
I can handle that more over. And over. If there's a point for any song, right? Even ones you like. But I can handle that a lot better than I can handle over and over.
Considering we were drunk, drinking at the top of the lungs, and actually screaming "scary tarantula," I mean at the top of our lungs. So we were finally asked by management to please stop. Scary tarantula.
So anyway, Beer Jesus commented in is watching
already. Hey, buddy.
He said, "Prost have some Hacker-Show Oktoberfest from this year too smooth for its own good."
It is smooth as hell. Why did I just have it?
And he said, "Was it driving you crazy?"
That'd be bizarre.
Bizarre, yes, exactly. Chi-Chi's the Olive Garden of Mexican, but Chili's is a toss-up.
Yeah.
And he said, "I miss my Fuddruckers."
I agree.
I miss Fuddruckers too. I do.
I miss the ostrich burgers. Chili's actually has decent burgers. I'll give them that.
There you go.
Putting pictures of Terlingua chili contest on their walls is just false advertising.
Yeah, and we'll have.
You didn't win anything.
No, yeah, exactly. And we can have we have somebody that actually,
it lives in Terlingua.
And like either helps organize it or helps run it or at least participates in it.
I think he supplies the beer for it.
I think he supplies the beer for it, right? But he's there every year. My point is, so he'll know if they win ever.
And this year he'll be there as part of the fire department more than likely.
This is definitely true. Definitely true.
Johnny, you going to open your first?
Or I already did.
No, waiting for me to finish this.
I already did. It's poured already. I'm just waiting for you to stop discussing the How Bizarre thing, and then I'm going to put it up right here. I'm drinking from Bizarre Brewing. How bizarre. That's how this conversation started.
He told me he was drinking something from Bizarre Brewing. Actually, he was talking out loud, going Bizarre Brewing as he was typing because he can't type without talking.
I can't talk without typing. I mean, I can't type without talking. Anyway, Bizarre Brewing. It's a fest beer. Behind the Rose, 5.5% fest beer. So,
don't go into the corn.
Prost, gents.
Yeah, I'll prost with what's left of my beer.
There you
go. Okay, now for my second.
You're funny.
No, I'm not laughing.
Well, pour it slow because I didn't type your second one yet. You know what? Forget it. It's just the two of us who cares.
Don't worry about it. Oh, boy.
All right. So why don't you tell us what your second is while you're pouring it?
Well, it is another Forest in Maine. Actually, I'm drinking my first 3 beers. That's a pretty pour right there.
It's a very pretty pour.
Oh, man. Oh, that smells yum yums.
Does it?
Yeah, Forest and Maine Under a New Sun. This is the Pale Ale. So this is hopped with Nelson Sauvin and Comet. I haven't memorized that. It's just written on the back of the can. And I was
going to say you're pretty damn good.
No, I didn't memorize that at all. It's a 5% pale ale. And I hope to smell this thing. Oh, wow. That's got some nice tropical and citrus notes to it.
There you go. You're you're enjoying it, are you?
Enjoying sniffing it. You ever get so
Excuse me.
You ever get so into sniffing a beer that you wind up sniffing foam up into your nose?
100%.
I do it more often than I should probably admit.
Hell yeah. It definitely has happened more than once.
No. It's not under a new SON, John. That'd be bizarre. So I held the can up.
I typed from what you sent me.
How bizarre.
Well, you know what? I thought it was just, ironic. That's all. Like
no, that's not ironic.
Like his younger son now is the brewmaster. So now
so
they're
he's
under a new son.
Is that like under new management?
Something like that.
Oh, baby.
So what you're saying is it's SUN, right?
Yeah. There's no other word that's pronounced that way. SONNE, SONH.
Is that better?
Done.
Is that better? You like that better?
He spelled forest wrong.
No, I didn't. Anyway. So cool. All right. I'm still drinking my first, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah. So, how do you like it?
I love it. I think it's fantastic. I mean, it is a fest beer brewed on the other side of the United States, but they brew some pretty damn good beer in Washington. So
where in Washington is Bizarre?
They are in Seattle. How bizarre!
I was in Seattle. I don't think we made it to Bizarre Brewing.
I do remember you saying you didn't. So there you go.
I did not make it to Bizarre Brewing. I don't even know where they were. They were probably off our beaten path. Beaten track, it's path, isn't it? It's
beaten down.
Bizarre Brewing. Let's see exactly where in Seattle they are. Oh, okay. Yeah, they were out there on the other side of that river. We didn't make it to that. Dirty Couch is right by Bizarre, and Figurehead's not too far. I wanted to get over there, but we were in Ballard, and I just got well, you don't really need much after you've been to Ballard.
No. I understand what you're saying.
It's a lot of breweries there, so we didn't make it there.
That's a shame, because they brew some pretty good beer.
Yeah, I mean, if we ever wind up going back, because we might go back to do like an Alaskan cruise out of there or Vancouver. Not sure which yet.
Sure, I got you.
But ow.
All right, we got let's catch up on some comments here. We got 7 comments. Beer Jesus. I posted a review on your guys' page to help the page.
Grouch.
Grouch, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, Beer Jesus. Appreciate it. Making sweet chili cabbage roll-ups with sure red onion, chicken, orange vinaigrette, and carrots. Now, every week you make me hungry.
I'm gonna buy him some commas.
Yeah,
you read it without the commas.
I read it without the commas, but I knew what he meant.
I know what he means.
And he said Prost. I think we were toasting it, cheersing at the time. Toasting at the time. That is a beautiful 1.5 finger of head. There you go.
It's cheaper where you come from.
Yeah. And it's all good. Siobhan and Nelson make that beautiful nose of pineapple, pine, grapefruit, mango. Love it. And he said, Comet, I haven't had it. Comet's good hop. It's an interesting hop. More on that in a minute. That's a true fest beer. That is a true fest beer. Sucks how Pilsner malt is not used as much as we need it for Mexican beers. True. I agree with you on that one. Absolutely. So, all right.
But yeah, no, this is it's funny because what I love about this pale ale right now is it's got a more bitter finish than most IPAs made in the US these days. It's got a nice little punch. That bitterness is really drying my mouth out. But getting the saliva glands going at the same time.
You said driving your mouth out.
No, drying.
I got you.
Like a really good pithy IPA should be. It's like it doesn't have a taste of pith, but it's got that kind of mouthfeel of pith.
I got you. Watch how you say
P-I-T-H.
that.
Pith rhymes with Sith.
I got that.
You got that?
I did. There you go.
But yeah, no, this is but it's also got that that slight like vinousness, white grape, white wine flavor that Nelson throws out there. I'm liking this a lot. That's really good. Man, that is a dry, bitter finish. That's a good one.
Is it?
It is. So, you said you were going to say more about common hops there, John.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. There. No, I just had to do that.
What were you doing?
Typing.
I heard. We all heard.
Did you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, the vibration comes into the mic.
There you go. Cool. All right. Listen. Let's get this party started, if you will. This is our 200th episode.
I'm a beer and a half in.
I understand. But the talking part of the party. So.
No one wants to listen to us talk. So everybody just drink, and we're just going to go quiet.
And we'll just go.
That's
quiet.
how we're going to celebrate our 200th episode.
There you go.
We're just going to sit here and
folks,
drink.
This is what we did. Now, when we started this venture almost 4.5 years ago,
completely out of COVID.
We were completely out of COVID boredom, right? But it was just the two of us. It was just Dave and I. We didn't have our first guest was episode 9. So the first 8 episodes we did was just the two of us. Now we've done plenty of just the two of us since, right? A couple of them were actually scheduled just the two of us.
Yeah, most of them are because the guests had either forgotten, had to go and clean some dude's pool, or dig a pool. Had to, I wish I was making this up. Was incarcerated. No, that wasn't one, was it?
He's kidding. No, the guests have to, something comes up. Look, here's the thing, right? The majority of the people, the majority of the guests that we're getting on the show are brewery owners, brewers, so forth and so on. Things happen in a brewery where you can't control it and you're going to run long or you got to get home. And then anybody's life, right? You got something, a family emergency, something like that. We get it. And 99% of the people that do reschedule, actually reschedule. We get them on, we put them in the next slot, which we're about a month and a half, 2 months out. So we put them in the next slot. So there you go. So we get them on, but that night, obviously, if they call up 4 hours, 3 hours before, it's hard to put a guest in that quick. Yeah. So it's just the two of us. So point being, it's fitting that tonight we're doing just the two of us because, again, it's our 200th episode, and this is how we started the podcast.
But our 100th episode, we had 4 guests.
We did have 4 guests on our 100th episode.
We had 4 rotating guests, including our first guest.
We had our first guest. We had our second guest. We had 2 recurring guests that we always have on. And we have
our regulars,
if you will, right?
And I think they're mostly regular. One of them is very irregular.
No. There's
pretty irregular.
They're irregular, but so we figured there's a bunch of stuff we're going to talk about tonight with you, but we figured we could do a little bit of a retrospective. Anybody watching the show,
just a little bit of a retrospective,
just a little bit. We're not going to go nuts, but anybody watching the show that has some favorite moments of the show from the past, even if it was like 3 episodes ago or 3.5 years ago, favorite episodes, favorite moments in the show, write in, let us know what they are. We honestly love to hear them, and we'll take those comments and we'll put them up
or read them.
Or read them. Yeah, we'd love to read them. So hear them, if you will. I do want to, we actually, for our 1-year anniversary, which was over 3 years ago now, our 1-year anniversary, we actually did have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people actually write comments in, and we put them up that night, but we haven't talked about them since, obviously, because there's no reason to. That was they were wishing us a happy anniversary, 1-year anniversary, but it's been over 3 years since. So I thought maybe we could just breeze through a couple of those right now.
And we did. We just passed our 4-year anniversary very quietly. Didn't really
very quietly, just
because you know what, we forgot.
We remembered, but
we kind of missed it.
We did, but we're moving it. Well,
They're busy guys because you know what? The beer's not going to drink itself.
Beer's not going to drink itself. Of course not.
We got to get out there and take care of that.
The fact of the matter is, the fourth year anniversary, that they usually coincide with around the 50th, the 100th, the 150th, the 200th. So, we did the 1 year anniversary,
we do it every week, and there's 50 because there's 52 weeks in a year.
Take a couple off, boom. We always take one off in January and one off in August. So, usually,
and one in April.
And April and not January, April and somewhere in there. So, but bottom line being, we kind of combine the two, right? So let's put a couple of those up. The first one, Chuck Aaron.
Who? Oh, I know that guy.
There you go. Happy anniversary, guys! Don't ever see John. I must have been in a suit that night.
You had gone to somebody's. No, not on the show. You had gone.
No. That's right. It was my nephew's. Jess and I are godparents.
Yeah, that's right. It was. I remember that now. It was the christening.
Christening.
Yeah.
And after the christening, we stopped over at the brewery and.
Oh, that's right.
Stopped over at Chuck's brewery because it was up that way. So,
the thing about it is, anytime. The thing is. It's not that you can't unsee it. It's just you may not even realize who you're looking at because when he wears a suit, he doesn't wear a cap.
And it's exactly. So
and you're like, who the hell?
What the hell is that? Is that John?
Yeah.
So then we had Brian Boak commented in.
I know him.
You know him. He's been on a show a bunch. Best place to drink beer while talking beer and sports. There you go. Very true. Because
at the time of the 1 year anniversary, both of your podcasts were part of the same network.
No, they're all still part of the same network.
Well, they were still part of the. They were still the.
No. We
split them up prior to them.
Yeah, I mean the Get On with the Sports podcast was the Log Room guys was the Logger Room Sports podcast for only about 6 months. And then it became. I
thought it was about a year. Okay.
No, it was with about 6-7 months, maybe.
Yeah, because we had to dissociate ourselves with those guys. 3 friggin' idiots.
And now there's four. There's four podcasts that are part of the Logger Room podcast network, and that's the Logger Room guys, the Get On with the Sports show, the Anna Chaser show, and the
at the pub with the Beer Whisperer.
With the Beer Whisperer. Yeah. Moving on, then we got Al Gattulo, who was just on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yes, he was.
He writes in, "Happy anniversary on 1 year. Best non-famous show I've ever had the pleasure of being in."
And the great thing is, we stick to brand. We're still non-famous.
Mm-hmm. No reason not to be.
No.
Or no reason to be, actually.
Consistency is key.
Oh, absolutely.
Consistency is key.
There you go. We had Brian Dorchak. He's been on the show a couple times. Owner of
and we've done the show from his.
And we've done the show from his place. Owner of Cloverleaf Tavern up in Caldwell, New Jersey. He writes in, "All the best to the boys in the Logger Room on their 1 year anniversary of spreading the good word of craft beer."
And no one has spread the word better in this state than Ryan Dorchak has. You got to.
No, that's absolutely. An absolute certainty.
Yeah,
exactly. I got a trivia question for you there, Samurai.
All
right. Whose arm is that behind Ryan?
Well, the color kind of gives it away, does it not? And we're not allowed to say that name on the show 3 times. No. But when we did the show from the Cloverleaf Tavern, he was one of our guests. And the best part about that show was a faux pas that John had made. No, we're not going to go into it, but the best part about that faux pas is that man that we're talking about actually stopped talking in the middle of a sentence.
And never happens.
You can't get that man to stop talking, first of all, but actually stop talking in the middle of a sentence. So, John, kudos to you. Yes. You managed to do something very few people have. You left him speechless.
Briefly, but...
And you derailed them too, because what am I looking at? He's like, what am I looking at?
All right.
It's like, if you know what you're looking at, you're in big trouble.
Next,
we won't get into too much detail about that.
Next,
and it's been expurgated from the show, so you can't even go back and find it.
So shush.
The best part I think about that was me looking over to you with the "I fucking told you so, didn't I?" look on my face.
All right. Can we move on?
Oh no, I love how uncomfortable you are right now.
Anyway, I'll just mute your mic. There you go. I'm kidding. Anyway, Tony Drury wrote in that day, and this is a long
God, damn, Tony.
one. Coming to you from a land of many, many loggers, beautiful Juarez,
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua, Mexico.
Felicidades, I think.
Felicidades to Jersey Johnny and the Beer Samurai on the first great year of the Log Room, guys. When I was on a show, I hadn't had that much fun talking about beer in a long time. I learn a little something each time I tune in. Thanks for putting it out there for all of us, and here's to many more. Salud.
Salud.
Salud. There you go. And one more. One of the first guests. I think it was the fourth or fifth guest, somewhere in there. Rick Reed.
Rick Reed, the legend.
The legend, Rick Reed. Congratulations to Jersey Johnny and the Beer Samurai on your 1 year
anniversary.
He was the
sixth guest.
Sixth guest. There you go. Thank you for getting people to realize they should drink what they enjoy, not what they're told to drink. And remember, no matter how many Coors you drink, you're not getting laid by twins. There you go.
I'm sure we can find someone that would.
Sure words have never been spoken. There you go. Anyway, all right. So I wanted to bring them back up. They sit here for a rainy day in the photo collection here.
It's not raining.
And I figured it would be apropos to bring them up. Right. So look, we talked about this. We had already decided on a. You're going to beer 3 already?
Oh, I'm on 3.
I haven't. It's been a hell of a day for you, huh? I'm still on beer 1.
Okay, put it this way. I'm in logistics, and this is the way my day began. It began in a meeting at 8 a.m. With all of the big brass in my company talking about our holiday campaign and all the great things that are going to be throughout the world, installed throughout the world, that everyone's going to see. And I'm sitting there curled up in a fetal position because I'm the one responsible for getting all the stuff they were talking about.
Sure.
They're telling this to every person in the company, and we are a global company. And I couldn't help but take it personally and feel singled out, even though I never got mentioned, because everything that they said that sounded like, oh my God, that's going to be so damn cool. And one of the coolest things they mentioned is going to be in Manhattan. And the second they mentioned went, oh my God, I have no idea where that is right now.
Really?
Fuck. So it was major panic this morning. It's been a fun day. So, but tonight is just the two of us, so it's date night.
It is date night. You're absolutely right. There you go.
This is date night. This is a bro date. This is a hazy IPA, also from Forest and Maine. This is Cashmere, Vic's Secret, and Mosaic. That's an interesting combination.
It is an interesting combination, actually.
And look at this. This is give you an idea of the quality of beer that a Forest and Maine make. Take a look at this.
That is beautiful.
That's some great protein retention there.
Right there. That's very nice.
That is amazing. God, look at that head. That is astonishing. It's been a long time since I've been able to pour a beer that far over the lip.
It's been a long time since you had a head that good.
No. And look at this. I could just keep building it. And right now, because I'm pouring right down the middle, it looks like a donut.
You got a head donut.
Yeah, let's look at this.
You got a donut head.
It looks like a donut.
There you go.
No, it's better. I guess it's better than having a machine head.
Got a machine head.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna get where I was going with that.
Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
It's funny. I was just gonna say I love Bush.
I was waiting for you to say.
There we go.
I was baiting you.
But being a bass player, that song's boring to play. It's my favorite song to listen to by them. My least favorite song to play by them. My favorite song to play by them actually is "Everything Zen." That's got a fantastic.
That's a good song. It's a good song.
Great bass line.
So how was date night for you? How was date night going for you?
I haven't actually tasted it yet. I'm still enjoying the head.
Who wouldn't?
It's great when date night starts with a great head.
I'm telling you. You know, I mean, you got to put that review up on the website. Great night. Date night starts with every good date night starts with great head.
There we go.
Oh
man.
That's an open. There we go. All right.
Okay. Let's see what we've got here. Look at this. It's like tilt the glasses. Whee! Oops, no, I just stripped some of my keyboard.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want. You don't want.
Oh, you have no idea how much beer is in this keyboard.
Oh, I mean, there's shit on my keyboard too. So.
What do you? How did you get? What are you doing over there that you got? I've got beer on my keyboard.
You don't want to know.
And you got shit on your keyboard. There's some strange. There is some bizarre stuff going on at the Locker Room Guys Studio South.
How bizarre.
Okay, house cleaning here.
I was gonna say let's pay attention to the show and not clean the house right now. Let's clean it later. It'll get sticky. You can wipe it up later. I'm talking about the beer.
That's what she said.
I'm talking about the beer, folks.
Okay.
All right.
That's too close to the edge. That'll get knocked off and broken. And I like that glass.
That was a good Yes album.
Close to the edge, yes.
Closer to the edge.
That probably had, I think, my favorite album art.
Yeah, that was a good album.
I mean, period. Not just Yes. I mean, any cover throughout history. That's probably one of my favorite album cover arts.
Yeah, they were really good. They were really good.
Okay,
so all right, so what we were talking about was episode
our year anniversary, year anniversary, and the anniversary wishes that we got. But we're also at our 400th episode, so we're going to look back a little bit.
4 years, 200th episode. Don't put it like 400th episode. It is in about another 3.5 years. So,
I'll be dead by then. That's fine.
I don't think so. So stop.
Yeah, Pop. Keep drinking like this, I will.
Anyway, so I pulled out.
Yeah, let me just whip this out.
Excuse me while I whip this out. We have our favorite shows, favorite episodes. All right. Yep. We mentioned it. Well, like I said, we talked about it. We have our top threes. We had already decided on that, but then David mentioned that we do our why don't we change the top three to top three favorite episodes? Now we did that 100 episodes ago on the 100th anniversary. Yeah. On the 100th anniversary,
but we've had a few episodes since
100th episode anniversary.
Our 100th anniversary. Wow, you thought I went wrong with 400 episodes
when we were both in our 150s. We were,
hey, there has been some great strides in medicine.
I'm telling you, just the secret is clearly beer, but that's besides. Anyway, I have in here the what our favorite. We did that top three for our 100th episode.
Okay, what were our top three then?
Your top three was you had of course we both actually had 3 honorable mentions.
Of course we did.
So your number 6, if you will, your number 3 honorable mention was Sean Lapolito shotgunning a Gansett.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was awesome.
There you go. So we didn't do episodes; we did favorite moments.
We did the favorite moments, and the best part about that show is at the beginning of the show, and I hope Sean's listening. At the beginning of the show, Sean was dead sober, and I think he was a little nervous.
A little bit.
And John texts me like about 15 minutes of the show. This dude's boring. And I'm like, yeah, he's.
He wasn't boring. He was nervous.
Yeah, well, we didn't realize that at the time. I'm like, this is not the way he usually is. And then, like, after 2 beers, he became like one of the best guests we ever had.
Yeah, it was
he loosened up and he did the crush it like Quint after shotgunning that damn thing.
It was fantastic.
He was great.
Jekyll and Hyde. It was fantastic. It went from a show that looked like it was going to go about a half an hour to a show that we didn't want to end at 2 hours.
Yes.
So.
Oh, he was great. I got to get back up to Rhode Island. I got to get back to I forgot the name of the town now.
It's all the way up.
Meloxicam? What?
It's all the way up. I said Meloxicam. Where did you get that? I didn't even say it.
No, you said. That's what I thought you said.
It's all the way up. I said.
I used to work in that town, so you'd think I'd friggin' remember the name of it.
Oh, Woonsocket.
Okay, you're okay. Woonsocket. Whatever, close enough.
Anyway, so
now pronounce Pawtucket.
Pawtucket.
Okay, you got that.
Pawtucket. Pronounce Worcester.
Worcester.
And never mind. We talked about that on the show last week. Anyway, so
Quincy?
that was your Quincy. Yeah, Quincy. Well, that was your number 3 honorable mention. Your number 2 honorable mention was Tony Ford reading his poem.
It was an ode to the Beer Whisperer. The Beer Whisperer. Not the Beer Whisperer. Yeah. The beer. Peter Jackson. It was an ode to Peter Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Peter Jackson does Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Michael Jackson
was one of them.
And he wrote the poem for his retirement.
Right. Your number 1 honorable mention was the Coastal Brew Works launch shtick that we did.
Oh, that was Chuck Aaron and his wife. Chuck Aaron's wife stole that show.
Yeah, Chuck never has a second double IPA at home. So.
Now I will take pride because I wrote the shtick, but she delivered it.
She delivered. Chuck's wife delivered it perfectly. Yeah.
And if only James had pointed the camera in the right fucking direction.
Exactly.
If you're listening, James, you're never.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh,
his birthday was the other day. Happy birthday, belated
Happy birthday, James. Oh, and you have to forgive him. We did conscript him like 2 minutes before the show.
Well, you needed him to hold a phone. How hard is that?
Well, James could fuck up taking a shit. Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Moving on. Your number 3.
God, I hope he's listening.
So we're off of the honorable mentions now. Your number 3 was John Hall mentioning that Bolero is a registered dairy,
and we still that's such a
we refer to that all the time. All the
time.
Your number 2 was the audio. We weren't doing video yet. Damn it! The audio from when you were in Rhode Island on the roof and the tornado hit.
Yeah, and took the micro tornado hit and just launched the table I was hiding under about 100 yards off the roof.
Mm-hmm. And your number 1 was the show in Italy. You in Italy.
Well, if you ask me today, that's still probably my number 1.
Gotcha.
That was just such an absolute blast. We had so much fun with those guys. And the best part of it is they couldn't really hear anything because we only had one set of headphones, and if we took the headphones off and did the audio, we were getting feedback.
Well, and you were swapping them a couple of times when somebody was going to talk longer. All right, you take the headphones. All right, you take that.
You know what? The best way to describe the show is it was very nice.
It was very nice. It was very nice. It was a good show. It was where there's a will, there's a way. All right. Mine. My number 3 honorable mention was the CBW Coastal Brew Works launch event. Whole thing. My number 2 honorable mention was the John Hall registered dairy comment. Mm-hmm. My number 1 honorable mention was the audio from the tornado in Rhode Island. My number 3 period was the show in Italy. This is as of 100 episodes ago. So yes. There's been 100 episodes since, right? My number 2 was you passing out on the show with Tom at the end of it after we drank way too much.
I didn't pass out. I was resting my eyes.
You took a nap.
I was resting my eyes.
There you go. And my number 1 was when we announced Coastal Brew Works. When Matt and I were up in in Single Cut up in Clifton Park up in upstate New York.
I remember that. That's the that was the road trip where you guys had to share a bed, right?
that was a 1-day trip. Drove all the way up to Glens Falls, came back for a meeting, came back, stopped in Clifton Park, had food and had beer at Single Cut, and did the show, and then left there and drove home.
That's
one
right.
day. So there you go.
There was the show when I was in Utah. Mm-hmm. You guys had gone up to New York to look at brewing equipment, and Matt had he was like about 3 barley wines in or something like that.
Oh, if that little bit, there was more than that. Because you got to remember, before we did the show, before we did the show, because we did the show late because you were out in Utah.
Yep.
Matt and I were at a couple of breweries. We had a meeting. We had a meeting at a brewery. We're at that brewery. We went to another brewery. Then we came back and we went to a third brewery.
You were in a hotel. That's where you had to share the bed.
No. There was 2 beds in there, but but then we went to dinner, and one of the breweries that we were having one of the meetings with, which the brewery owner has been on the show, Christian Weber from Common Roots Brewing up in Glens Falls. He met us, and we had beers at the restaurant we were at, the bar we were at. So we were pretty good when we got back, and then we had like 2 beers at least before we started the show.
And one was a barley wine, right?
And one was a barley wine. Yeah, big barley wine. So
yeah,
that was a fun show.
So Anna Chaser, the Anna Chaser show, Tom will complain that I can be long-winded, and I get that. Mm-hmm. Get Matt drunk, and there's no comparison.
Fair enough.
To the point that John had to mute him a few times, and he never even noticed.
I didn't.
And I don't know if you've ever seen that commercial. I think it's for a Saab, where you've got the little girl in the back seat, and she just keeps like, yep. The guy gets out of the car, comes around to get her out of the car, and she hasn't even broken stride. That was basically Matt Potensky that night. That was hilarious.
That's pretty funny.
Absolutely hilarious. We got a few comments there, John.
We do. Doug Smith commented, and he said, "Brew Guru is the best. Can't deny it. Can't argue with you on that one."
To Starodumsky. And Doug, I don't know if you saw his recent post from Helen.
I'm
Georgia.
sure he did.
Man, he cuts a great figure of a German right there. His lederhosen and the hat, man. He looked damn good. He looked like he just walked off the streets of München.
Well, he said too in the comment. He said he didn't want to put that outfit on early because it's lederhosen.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Not mine.
No, that's Starodumsky. You say punster.
Mm-hmm. We got to get me, Brew Guru, and Dantes all together in one room, and I think the dad joke universe will implode. But in any event, then he commented, Giants and Patriots are garbage. You Doug, you forgot to put the hot before the trash can.
Yeah.
Okay. They're both hot garbage.
Yeah, they're awful.
There you go. And he did say happy 200th episode. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Doug. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. All right. I'll just run through these really quick. Matt gave us his top 2 shows. He gave us he said the show that he did with the Strong Rope guys when he came on and co-hosted with me was his number 2, and his number 1 was the first episode he came on and we did Belgian beers.
That was another one. I think I came close to taking a nap on that show too.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. We went hard and heavy on that show.
Then Tom Mulvihill said that he Beer Whisperer said that his top 2 were his number 2 was you passing out on the show he was on.
I was resting my eyes.
Resting his eyes. And his number 1 was when we did the top 10, when we did the top 3 list of movie quotes. That was his favorite at that time. He's been on since.
Yeah,
he might have changed. But anyway.
Yeah, we've had some good movie quotes. And I think the one with Sean Napolino was top 3 movie beer moments.
Mm-hmm. Top 3 movie beer moments. Yeah. And yeah, I think all 3 of ours, our number 1 was Crush It Like Quint.
Oh, that's. Well, we gave that to him because his brewery's in Rhode Island, and it's Narragansett, so that he was drinking. So we had it. It's like, okay, that was yours.
Exactly. And then just I'll throw it out there too. Tony Drury gave us his top 2. He said the third show he was on when he had the Wi-Fi issues with his buddy watching, and then his number 1 was when we talked about Colorado. When we talked about Colorado breweries.
Yes, but he told us his story about taking that bus to Colorado. That was a fantastic story.
100%. So, all right. So you're drinking your. How's your date night? You almost done with it? Because I'm just about done with my first beer.
Yeah, I'm nursing this one a little bit. It's what I like about this is this is a hazy IPA because, and they're right, it's hazy. It's not a New England. You know why it's not? I know it's not a New England.
Why is it not a New England?
It has flavor, and it's bitter.
There you go.
And it's dry. This is an IPA for people who do like IPAs.
There you go.
Because we've said it before, any IPAs are IPAs for people who don't like IPAs.
There you go. But you have had some any IPAs recently that you actually did like, right? Right?
Yeah, there are a few out there that actually.
Right.
John's trying to get me to talk about one of his beers.
One.
Or maybe three, because Coastal Brew Works is turning into an IPA house.
No.
You know I like to teach you about that. Someone's got to keep you guys honest.
We brewed a few non-IPAs recently, and you've had a few of them, so.
Have I?
Well, we've brewed.
There's one I did actually have down at the brewery. Yes.
Well, we've brewed Rising Tide, of course, because we brewed that.
I took a can of that to Germany, so.
I know. We brewed again this year. It's the third year in a row we brewed it for Oktoberfest. We brewed our rye ESB. Of course, we have monkfish too, and we just canned today.
What'd you can?
Vertical Migration.
Vertical Migration.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. What
would Vertical Migration be, John?
Vertical Migration would be a 5.7% Schwarzbier. Is that how you feel about a Schwarzbier?
Yeah,
isn't that kind of a day? Because this is that. I mean,
but then you got to do this.
You're good for I know you got to put your thumb up on your head.
Which means you got to drink now because you were late.
I was late, right? I'll
drink.
We're whatchamacallit? We're usually good for one belch from you per show. You've had 3 so far, so you've definitely had a hell of a day.
Yeah, but I've stifled the other 2. That one that was mostly stifled.
That one you let ride, right?
Oh no. Oh, you really want a good one?
I don't need another one. No,
I'll crack open a boat beer and you'll hear one.
I'm sure you will at some point because I just opened my second, and I am having a third, and you'll see why when I get to it. So,
okay. What's your second?
By the way, there's a theme. See if you can guess what it is. My second is from Elder Pine Brewing. It is called Autumn Awaits. And Elder Pine Brewing, I love Elder Pine. They brew there's the can art is always in the front.
Oh, yes, yeah.
But it's just their logo and the art. There's nothing there. And then you got to turn it around and you get all the information. So it's pretty cool idea that they do there. But Elder Pine, Gaithersburg, Maryland, fantastic brewery. If you're anywhere near there, I suggest going. Fantastic. But it's a 4.0%. It's a low ABV. Märzen. So there you go. So
the first beer was a
Prost.
Fest beer.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have a Märzen. So is either going to be you're just celebrating the close out of Oktoberfest?
Hold on. Wow. This is really good.
Yeah. So you're either celebrating the close of Oktoberfest, which closed last week.
Right.
Or just German beers. Or just beers that have the letter B in them.
I will be honest with you. It's Oktoberfest. I had a few Oktoberfests. I still have a couple others, but Oktoberfest closed last week, so I wanted to. If we did a different show tonight, it would have been differently. But tonight, because of this, it gave me the perfect excuse to have 3 of the 5 other ones that I've had and didn't have on the show tonight. So
there you go.
We have another 3 comments. He said, Doug Smith said Greg Zaccardi was an epic guest. One of his favorites.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. One of ours too. Greg is amazing.
He's one of our favorite dudes too. Mm-hmm. Actually, last time John and I saw each other was at Zaccardi's place.
That is true. Well, actually, the last time you and I saw each other was last Tuesday on the show, but that's besides.
Well, I mean, we're physically in the same place.
Physically in the same building.
Was at High Point Brewing.
Right.
Actually, we actually did go to the brewery, didn't we?
We were inside.
Actually went inside.
We were inside.
We actually did go inside. You have to pee eventually.
We were outside and we were inside, and Brian Boak was there too, as well as Greg Zaccardi.
And Brian Boak was there. So between him and John, I felt short.
And I just saw Brian Boak 48 hours ago.
Yeah, a couple days ago at the Giants game.
The Giants game.
To quote Gene Lynch, TFTI.
Yeah. You're invited, by the way.
No, I wasn't.
No, you are invited. I'm telling you. You're invited, by the way. And then, of course, this was the group shot because this is how big the tailgate is.
That's a nice shot.
Yep, right there. So huge tailgate, amazing tailgate every week. But in any event, Doug Smith also commented. He said, "Schwartz beer, awesome.
Nice.
Thank you very much." He said, "Collab with Ramstein someday, 100%. We will definitely do that." Now we do have another comment.
I hope that that collab is an Icebox.
You know what? He already does an Icebox. I don't think he's going to collab on a separate second Icebox.
How about Ice Doppelbock?
And we can't do a shtick of alt, which I would love to do.
Because you already promised Gretchen.
We already promised Gretchen we're going to do one with her.
Yeah.
So we'll have to come up with I don't know. Maybe we'll
how about an Ice Schwartz beer?
Maybe we'll do like a smoked Doppelbock or something like that. Oh no, I know. We'll do a Weizenbach.
But neither of you are that wise, so I don't know why would you would.
I know it's a wheat thing, you know.
Oh no, because you're both Weisenheimers.
We're both Weisenheimers. There you go. Which was, by the way, a fantastic beer from Brooklyn back probably 12, 13, 14 years ago right now.
Might be more than that even.
Yeah, and it was a Weizenbach, but it was fantastic. Doug Smith said a Rogan beer. We actually
Rogenbach.
And then let me put okay. I'll lead into the comment. I just pushed my mic over.
Are we going to go back to that?
I'll go back to that.
To the tome.
Yes, exactly. What you would call it? Matt Potensky,
the chatty one.
Cheers, Matt.
Cheers, Matt. My fellow.
He said, "How about we do a Rogenbach?" I think that's perfect. I will text Greg tomorrow. We'll put something on the schedule.
How about a Rogan Icebox?
I don't know if that would translate. I think there's some get lost. But Matt did comment in because we're talking about vertical migration back to the coastal promo or whatever. Vertical migration, he said he wanted to just give his 2 cents. Vertical migration references the movement of plankton and nekton up from the depths to shallow waters at night, which can be seen on what's called a blackwater dive.
Now, here's the thing. A lot of people do not understand one thing, is that nekton was plankton's partner in the chum bucket.
Fair enough.
He was the silent partner, so you didn't get to see him.
He was the silent partner. He was the silent partner.
Much, yeah.
He says, as dawn approaches, they sink back to the dark depths. Hence black water, black lager, Schwartz beer, hence vertical migration. There you go. So
there we go.
And whatchamacallit, and Mr. Potensky is right now drinking a 2022 Antede because his vacation has officially started. Matt, I'll call you later or whatever because we had a couple things or whatever. I'll talk to you tomorrow or whatever. But he's leaving tomorrow for
Africa, isn't
for Africa for 2 weeks. There you go. He's going diving and safariing. So there you go.
So gute Reise. That's German for have a good vacation.
Have a good vacation. There you go. But anyway, cool.
Still practicing my German.
Still practicing your German?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So what are some of your, other than these that we mentioned, what are some of your, don't give me a list or anything like that, but just in your current memory right now, of the last
my memory's shut the hell.
Well, of the last 100 episodes, what are some of the highlights for you?
Well, broadcasting live from Higgins Ale Work in München.
I can imagine that was definitely a highlight for you.
But I think one of my favorite moments of that is we're going through the beers with Jen and Paul.
Paul, yeah.
Paul and Jen, and the owners, Paul Higgins and his wife Jen Higgins. Though I don't think
who by the way, are from New Jersey.
They're from New Jersey. They're expats in Germany,
and they live in Germany and own a brewery in Munich.
And we're sitting there. We're going through their beers. And I said, okay, so the next beer that we're going to drink here is a coffee porter. And John's like, oh, a coffee porter. We do a coffee porter. I'm like, yeah, this one's called Nautical Twilight.
Yeah.
And John, of course, then got nervous because that can was a little aged. But not Twilight aged so damn well.
It really did. I got to be honest with you. From that first batch we did, which is well over a year and a half old right now, approaching 2 years.
I've got a 4-pack sitting behind those bottles still.
I actually had a can about 2.5 weeks ago, and there was still no green pepper in it.
Nope. It aged well. Paul and Jen really enjoyed it. But the fact that we got to drop that surprise on John, that I had brought one with me to share with them, that was a fun moment.
That was pretty cool. Thanks. Any others? That was good.
That was a fun one. What were some of the other shows we've done that have been? I don't know. They've all been torturous this year. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I'll be honest. This year, it's been the last couple of years since the 100th episode. I mean,
yeah. The Rod J show was a blast. The thing with Rod J is that we were linked up with him by Tom Overhill because he'd been Tom's show. And Tom said, "You're going to love this guy. He's a lot like you." And he came on the show.
He's a lot like you. The dangerous thing.
And I think the three of us just like synced immediately, and we just had a absolute blast on that.
Yeah,
show.
no, we got to get Rod J back on. Honestly.
Yeah, that was an absolute blast. We had so much fun with him. Well,
I'll tell you right now. Here's a couple of highlights as I'm just going down the list here.
Okay.
When we had 27A Brewing on, Ryan Cook.
Actually, I wrote that down because you know what my favorite moment was.
Yeah, when we can't say his name, but they are big fans of Carton Brewing, and they never met the owner. We can't say.
We can say it once. We can't say it 3 times.
They've never met Augie before, and we got him to come on the show, and we told him the whole shtick with the can't say his name 3 times because then he pops up. We made sure we said his name 3 times, and then we brought him up, so they actually met him for the first time on the show.
The best part about is I had been to the brewery, and they're talking about what they do, what their theory about beer is, and right. So they were starting to talk about how they kind of emulate Carton Brewing.
Right.
And so I'd ask, well, have you ever met them? Now, I never let on that I knew the owner. I just kind of let that pass because that's where the germ came in my head that we're going to get them on the show, and we're going to. But the funny thing,
it wasn't just that they because they've been to the brewery, but they never met him. It wasn't just that they never met him. It was that they wanted to meet him and they never met him. They were actually looking forward to trying to someday meet him and talk to him. So it wasn't just the fact that they just never met him. It was just some guy that they just never met. It wasn't that. It was important to them to meet him to a degree, right?
But the strange part about that is they had said, we had a strange feeling you guys were going to do this. I don't know how, because I never let on that I knew him.
There you go.
Never let on. So it was that you're right. That was one of the neat special moments in the past couple of years. And I actually wrote that down because when I told John, let's change the top three moments from the past that we've had so far. I wrote them down real quick, and that was actually one of them, John.
There you go. I like that. I'm just trying to look at a couple others. Just some, maybe not even just moments on the show or specific shows, but just some guests in general. Like, I'm looking at you. You've highlighted. That's one. Don Tess.
Yes, you're in the same list. And yes, Tom. When you said that immediately, is why I clicked on Don Tess.
Right.
John and I are both in the sheets that we share, the Google Sheets for the show, so we can see where each other is clicking on while we're in there. And he was absolutely such a great guest. We need to have him back on.
100%. Whatchamacallit? Dave Jimenez from Utah.
Oh, he's such a cool dude. We will have him back on.
He'll be back on.
I've already spoken to him. He's looking forward to coming back on. He said, just give him enough warning.
Kevy Spaghetti from Almanac.
Oh, Kevy. Now we've had him on twice now.
Right.
Kev's a blast. Here's the thing. I met Kev when I was out in San Francisco because Carrie had a business conference out there.
Right.
That business conference this year was in Vegas. I opted not to go because I really don't like Vegas. Next year, it's back in San Francisco.
So you're going to go again?
So I'm going to go, and we'll be hanging with Kev. And if it's a Tuesday night, I'll see if I can't talk him into letting me do the show from Almanac.
There you go. That'd be awesome.
And maybe we could be sitting back in that special room where in the fooders. We'll see. We'll see what I can talk him into.
Well, you can talk him into a couple others. I'll mention whatchamacallit, all of our Rhode Island guests. We've had Sean
through the years. We haven't had one on in a while because I moved out of.
Yeah, we did. We actually did have in February this year. We had Dylan Bruns and Morgan Schneider from Buttonwoods Brewing on.
That is true, but you got them on because you had blown through Rhode Island and brought them on.
January, I was up in Rhode Island. They were fantastic. Look, here's the thing: we're not singling anybody out. We have had over 135 different guests.
Yeah,
on the show. Some repeat, some we do some shows that are just the two of us. So we've had actually over 140 now.
So one of my favorite guests we had was Adam Jacosa.
Adam Jankosa, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, from Hotbird. That was a blast.
That was a cool show.
You saw where I've got my highlight right now.
Oak Flower, yeah, Colin McDonough and Chris Ayers, yeah, absolutely.
That was a fun show.
That was fun. Look, they're in their own right. We love every show. You know, we're not leaving up like Dom Ditlevson from Fiddlehead Brewing up in Vermont. That was a fantastic.
Oh, that was.
And we can't forget to mention Kat. You know, Kat.
Oh no, we cannot.
Kat's been on the show a bunch. Kat Reyes, Worldwide Beer Fest, and we're doing the Artisan Spirits Fest.
That's coming up in June.
May. It's coming up in May. But she's also brought on Marty Nakel and the guys from Monkless Brewing up in Oregon.
Oh, that is such good stuff, and I've still got one bottle sitting right there.
So do I. Same bottle, the Benedictine. Benedictine, yeah. So, we'll pull that on a show that Cat's on. You and we'll just like without saying, we'll just have it on the show.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fed, look, here's my thing. I'm going to say this right now. To every guest we've ever had on the show.
Oh, what? No, hold on. My beer's empty.
Well, then pour another one.
Oh, fine. Hold on.
Well, I mean, I'm a little bit more than halfway through my second, and I'm still having a third. So you better pour another one.
Hold on.
Stop making noise.
I would make as much noise as I fucking care to make.
Yeah, you probably would.
I did say I was grouchy, didn't I?
You having a long trail?
Yes, I am.
Look at that.
I'm not just having any long trail. I'm having a long trail that's going to make you give me the favor.
You're having long trail ale.
Nope. What's your favorite long trail beer?
Oh, well, I mean, there's a couple. Yeah, Double Bag.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite.
I thought Double Bag was your favorite.
My second favorite. Harvest is my favorite.
Oh, that's right.
Double Bag is my second favorite. That's a fantastic beer right there.
Yeah, I actually found this at Jersey City.
Jersey City buy right?
Uh-huh. Super buy
right. Super buy right, yeah.
Don't downgrade.
Yeah, not just a regular buy right. They are a super
buy right. Yeah. And you know what? They are super.
They are super.
The only thing is, though, I still swear that they have bugged my apartment.
They get what you are looking for in stock.
No. The other way around. Every time, like, I think they're going to have this, and I'll go, and they don't have it.
They don't have it. So they hide it in the back when you
hide it.
Hide it. There you go.
And then when I leave, they put it back out again.
They put it back on the shelf. There you go. Well, if we wanted to dispel that.
Oh, rumor, so now we're going to cheer all the guests that have been on the show.
If we want to dispel that rumor, I'll go in 20 minutes after you leave, and just to see if they put it back on the shelf.
Okay.
All right.
But to all of our guests ever.
To all of our guests that we've ever had on the show, and to every guest that we have yet to have on the show. Cheers, Prost, Sláinte. and everything, and all of the above.
Zoom photo.
Zoom photo, everything.
Kampai.
Kampai. All of them. Thank you so much, because we're nothing without you. And we realized that 8 episodes in, that's why we started having guests. All right. So cheers to all of you. And also to everybody that's ever commented in and watches the show on a regular basis and comments in, and everybody that's, commented tonight, obviously, but for the last 200 episodes, everybody that's done that. Cheers to you too, because again, we're nothing without you too. Yeah. Cheers. And to everybody that watches.
We're nothing without you too. We're nothing without Pink Floyd. We're nothing without Rush.
I was going to say, you got to get Rush now.
I got to sneak that
in a minute. But
this has got like, so we talk about like the backbones of beers, and some have like a cracker, a bread, toast. Double Bag has almost got like a graham cracker kind of backbone.
100%. It's got a little bit. It's got cracker, but it's just like the slight.
It's graham cracker. It's graham cracker.
Yeah. And I just want to say to everybody that watches the show, whether it be on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter, or listens to the audio podcast on any of the outlets.
John keeps this up. This is the only way he's ever going to finish the second beer.
Will you stop talking and let me finish? I'll be done.
No.
Cheers to you too. Thank you so much for your patronage and your desire to listen to the two of us knuckleheads talk. There you go.
We still don't get it.
There you go. All right. So we will put that down there. Let me get back to this. Go over here.
There you go.
I like Matt. If you're still watching, I actually love that idea of the Roggenbach. That'd be an awesome beer to do. We should actually talk to
Roggen Eisbach.
Talk to Greg about that, and we should actually time it out the same way. We'll do one of them by us and one of them by her, him or her. Him or her. You'll see her in a minute.
Is this talking about Greg? That I don't.
No, I'm talking about the Schickel Alt with Gretchen, or the Roggenbach with Greg. Do one of them at theirs and the other one by us, and so forth and so on. So there you go. That would be actually a really cool thing to do. We could set them up for next year, heading into beer season next year. It's a little late to do them now for beer season. We can do them whenever, but
beer season is every day.
Yeah, I know. But if we did them now, they're not going to be done until like late November, early December. So, I want to have those August, September, that kind of thing. So.
Okay.
So there you go. All right. Couple other things.
We have other things?
We have a couple other things I want to bring up. Did you see the news? More breweries for sale in New Jersey.
I've heard of one of them, which breaks my heart.
Well, which one is that?
2 Ton.
Yes. Well, that's one. That's not the newest news, but yes.
It's not the newest news.
They're not looking to be done tomorrow.
No,
they're just
they're testing the waters. But I was sitting.
None of these are, by the way. None of the breweries that are for sale in New Jersey, at least the ones we know of, anyway, are saying we got to get out of here. Help us. We're closing if you don't buy it. No, they're fine. They're just
still business as usual.
They're done. If they're done, if the price is right.
Right.
Yeah. Come on down. Oh, there you go.
Because the 2 Ton thing, the reason it breaks my heart is I was sitting in Port Henry's, where I met Matt Barbieri, and they're actually delivering their first Sixtel at the time. And what was cool about that is it was a IPA that used hop oil.
Mm-hmm.
You know where they were brewing that beer at the time, John?
I do.
They're brewing it at a brewery that had an owner that claimed that IPA was a fad and wasn't going anywhere, and has swore he would never ever brew an IPA in his brewery.
And we don't need to say the name. Anyone that knows who we're talking about. Anyone that doesn't know, it doesn't matter. There you go.
So that was a beautiful thing. But that's where I met them, and I was there when they opened their brewery doors.
Mm-hmm. Funny story about that though. Hold that thought really quick. We'll get back to that. But funny story about that though. Talking about 2 Ton, the first keg they sold was to Jesse at Port Henry's.
Right.
The first keg they tapped was
381.
the second keg they sold to 381.
Well, 381's a lot closer to them than
Right.
Poor Henry's was.
So Jesse got it on, but after we had tapped it already at 381. And we had a night too. It was Hammer and Ale. It was their Hammer and Ale.
Yep.
It was a Wednesday night. It wasn't even the Tuesday night. We had a special Wednesday night thing for them because that's what Jim and Matt wanted. And we did that night. But the reason that makes it funny is Magnify, when Magnify first opened. All right.
Eric.
The first 6 that got sold, the first keg that got sold to a bar out of Magnify was to Jesse at Poor Henry's. The second keg that got sold was to me at 381.
And you poured before he did.
And we tapped it before Jesse did. So
and the thing
there's
is,
a pattern here.
It's not that those two...
or not anymore, because both places are closed. But that's besides the point.
It's not the breweries he's talking about. He's talking about the bars. But it's not the fact that Jesse held on to them because he tapped them when he got them. It's just they didn't deliver to them right away.
Right.
Because Hammer and Ale was delivered that day. I drank it that day.
Mm-hmm.
Not the day it was sold, but the day it was delivered after you had tapped.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So it was just, it didn't get out.
It didn't get delivered.
Well, because Putin's in the sticks.
Well, here's the thing, right? Both of the ones to Jesse got delivered. Both of the ones to 381, I picked up.
There you go. That's
well, that's not true. I picked up the Magnify. Matt dropped off the one to 381 of Hammer and Ale for a 2-ton, but he brought it and we tapped it while he was there and then started the day. So that's
which probably means that was the first stop, and it was probably the same day that he went out there, and I had it probably hours after you.
After his day. So anyway, yes, 2-ton. That's
one of them.
But the news broke today, by the way, for this one.
Oh, that I don't know this one.
Summers Point.
Really?
Down in Summers Point. Yeah, just on the inland side of the bridge going over to Ocean City.
Yep.
In Summers Point.
I don't think I've ever had any of their beer.
Yeah, Jess and I were just there a month and a half ago. We were at the brewery in Summers Point. They can make a beer. They do stuff. And again, from what I've heard, the owners, they had their fun. They're done. Okay. They're done. There's no issues with brewing and sales and money or anything like that.
Or landlord.
Or landlord. No, they own the building. They own the building.
It's their own property. Yeah.
They own the building. Yeah. So they're like, yeah, we had our fun. It's time. You know,
and they want to turn the brewery into an Airbnb.
No, they don't. No, they want to, but that's just the thing.
Cool.
And this is another story. No, this is important to know because they want to sell the brewery turnkey. They don't want to sell the equipment to somebody and then sell the building to somebody and have them do whatever. They want to sell this structure with the equipment as a brewery to someone else that's going to keep it a brewery. So it's important to them.
That's cool. I like that.
So, and if it doesn't happen today, it doesn't happen today. They keep brewing, they keep making the beer, and and when it happens, it happens. But it's on the block to be sold. That's the thing. So,
okay.
Another comment in, Brian Boak. Cheers.
Oh,
cheers,
hey.
Brian.
Another one who suffers through the Giant season with us.
Oh yeah.
But he suffers with really good food and a whole lot of beer.
He suffers with really good food and really good beer. We had a lot of really good beer on Sunday night.
I had heard.
Oh, okay. So
this
is us prior to the game.
And where's the two after the game when you two are crying?
No. There's none after the game, but here's the one in the stands.
Yep,
when they're already screwing up. Right.
Yeah, I saw that one, and Brian had commented that he fed you well and
He fed me well.
And then you drank a lot of great beer.
And then we ran into my son-in-law too. My son-in-law was
yes. I've met that dude.
You have. Yeah. So.
I have drank with that dude.
There you go.
He's
Corey is his name, by the way.
Corey. He is a Hoopy Frood. That's a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference. Hoopy Frood's a good thing, by the way.
Hoopy Frood. There you go.
Dave goes 4 beers in and starts channeling Douglas Adams.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm actually gonna pour my. I'm gonna pour my third beer. Yeah, I'm gonna pour it now because I want it to open up a little bit. It's still a little cool because it's been sitting in with the ice pack. Because I got another couple sips of my second beer, but I'm gonna pour it first, and I'm gonna.
After all those toasts, you still have some of that beer left?
A little bit. And I'm pouring it in a new glass for the podcast.
New glass for the podcast. That comes so close to rhyming.
Almost. Of course, it's a darker beer, so I can't get the name on it. You won't see it. I'll just tell you what it is. You just see a glass.
Okay.
Hold on. I got to do this first. There you go. So my third beer is right here. You've had it on the show before because I brought it back for you. The Bamberg style Oktoberfest from Switchback.
That is a yum beer.
This is fan-fucking-tastic, this beer.
Yes, it is.
Yes, there you go. So I went all Oktoberfest with this tonight or whatever. And this is the glass. It is. You can't really see it because
I can't see shit on that.
I'll tell you about it now, and then when the beer gets down.
No, John, just chug the beer so we can see the logo.
Chugging a smoked Marzen. Okay, not happening.
Pussy.
Not happening. Anyway, it's Double Down Brewing from Worcester. Worcester, yeah. A pleasant little surprise. Didn't know they were there. All right. My nephew's going to Clark University, and we were up to see him. Obviously, we talked about this last week on the show, and we were up there. And when we left, because we're going to dinner, but we went to a BYOB, so we went to pick up some beer and whatever to bring by the BYOB. Yeah. And as we're driving over to the one liquor store, which is pretty cool, they had a lot of good stuff in there that we found. We're driving back, and we're passing on the way back to Clark University, and it's only a few blocks away from Clark. Is Double Down Brewing, and there's a restaurant attached to it, and they're in cahoots. They work together. Big parking lot, nice outdoor area, really good beer. Smaller, I think they're 5 or 7 barrel brew house.
So what you're saying is, them's good drinking, Clark.
Yeah, it is. So I had like we stopped. We're like, we're going back because they're waiting for us to go back, but we had some time. Like, I'm pulling over. We're going to the brewery. So
there you go.
We had 2 or 3 beers. I think they had 2 or 3 beers. I had 4. But and we had them, and they were pretty spot on. They were really good. They didn't have any cans to go. They had crowlers to go of everything. So they do that, right? They crowler everything up, which is fine. But I wasn't gonna. I had nowhere to keep it that night. It was Saturday. We were up till Sunday. I had nowhere to keep it that night. I wanted to get warm. And it's a crowler. I'm not getting it. But I did patronize them. Other than the beer, I bought a glass, so that was cool. So
you were patronizing. Nice.
I was very patronizing, and there you
go. Patronizing means talking down to, by the way, for those who don't know. Yeah. See what I did there?
I see what you did there. Brian just commented. He said we enjoyed a 16.8% barrel aged
something or another.
Yeah, it was a barley wine, by the way.
I figured.
And worked our way down to the 4% range. Yes, we did.
You probably should have, for that game, you should have probably stayed at the 16.8% barrel age.
For that game, we actually should have. I'll tell you right now, it was from Lumberbeard Brewing. I'll just put that up, okay? And it was their anniversary ale, 16.8% barley wine.
Oof, that's a beast.
Yeah, and you can see the tailgate happening, all around. And Dave, you've been to the tailgate, so you know.
I've been to a very reduced version of the tailgate where it was cold, it was miserable, and it was towards the end of the season. The Giants had no shot at anything, like they have any shot at anything this year. So it was very reduced. So I need to get to one soon where the tailgate is still in full bloom.
Absolutely. Just to show you too, we had a few others. Brian brought back a few things from
the Outer Banks.
From the Outer Banks. I'm trying to find the one I want to show you. Where is it?
John's got a picture for every occasion.
There was an Irish red ale. Lost Colony Brewing.
Lost Colony's nice.
There was a Russian Imperial Stout.
From Lost Colony as well, because I recognize. Yeah, you recognize the can art.
Exactly. And then there was a wee heavy
Yes.
called Santa Slayer. It's
Also
actually
from Lost Colony.
Lost Colony was really, really good. And then my contribution to the drinking in the lot was Animal Stout from Alternate Ending.
That's a damn good beer.
That was very good beer. That was
fantastic beer.
We drank that right before we went into the game. We should have brought it in with us.
Yeah, because the great thing is, if you tried to bring it in with us, you would have been kicked out and not had to have suffered through that game.
And it was funny too. I was talking to Eli Manning.
Yeah, no, you weren't.
I was talking to Eli Manning at the game, and he told me what he thought of Danny Dimes, and he wanted to give he wanted to give Danny Dimes a present. So I took a picture of him, and that was his present to Danny Dimes right there.
That's not funny.
I'm kidding. No, it's not. No, it's not funny. That should
have been his message to. Oh yeah, Danny Dimes. For some reason, I was thinking you were talking about Cutlets, Tommy Cutlets. Yeah,
not Tommy Cutlets. No, Danny Dimes.
That was funny because the 3 games before that, Danny Dimes was looking like, wow, maybe he's coming out of it. Maybe he's going to be a good quarterback after all.
Nope. He's the only thing that's consistent about Daniel Jones is the fact that he's inconsistent. That's the problem.
Well, there is one thing that's very, very consistent about him. He cannot place the long ball.
Nope. The reason he cannot place the long ball, and I've talked about this with a few people since we talked about it on Sunday. I've talked about it with a couple people yesterday.
That he sucks?
Well, he sucks, yeah, but here's the reason he sucks, okay? Because he actually does. Here's the thing, and this is, by the way, this is in no way, shape, or form. I'll talk more about this in more in depth on the sports podcast tomorrow night. But
as I should,
but
it's where it belongs.
There is in no way, shape, or form. This is in no way, shape, or form condoning him or putting him patting him on the back or anything like that. He has the technique and the talent to throw a long ball and to be a good quarterback. Do you ever watch The Replacements?
Yes.
Maybe The Replacements. Okay. Shane Falco. What was his nickname because he screwed up in the Sugar Bowl?
Oh, I don't remember.
Footsteps Falco?
Oh, he keeps hearing.
Because he's worried about he's going to get tackled. He's going to get sacked. Right. That's Daniel Jones. He could have the best protection in the world. He's worried about getting sacked, so he's screwing up the play. That's his friggin' problem.
Well, he's not worried about getting hit because when he runs the ball, he lowers the fucking shoulder.
That's different.
Yeah.
That's different. When he's running, he turns into a running back. When he's running in his mind, when he's running the ball, he lowers his shoulder. He does his things. When he's throwing the ball, he's not running. He hasn't converted. He's throwing the ball. That's his problem. He's looking for the check down. He wants to get rid of it quick. He throws it too soon. He overthrows. He underthrows. That's the friggin' problem. That is his biggest problem. And he's in his 6th year. This is not going to change. Get the fuck rid of this guy. Be done.
Okay. Have we run out of beer topics?
I'm done. You brought it up. I didn't. There you go. All right. I'm sorry. If you want to hear more of my Jersey... You brought
up the Eli thing. I did not bring this up.
If you want to hear more of my Jersey Johnny rants, tune into the Get On With It Sports Podcast tomorrow night at 7:00.
Or just friend him on Facebook and watch on...
Or just friend me on Facebook and you'll see.
And you'll see on game day.
There you go. Cheers. Anyway.
I'm almost done with my 4th. How you doing on your 2nd there, Jim?
On my 2nd's gone. I just took another sip. I got this here.
Oh, but, my 4th is gone.
I think we should... Are you going to have a 5th or are you going to...
No, I have to work tomorrow and my work life is hell right now.
I got you. So
I do need to be sharp tomorrow.
You're never sharp.
No.
Or you're too sharp. That's the problem. One of the other.
Sometimes I'm too sharp. Sometimes I'm just straight up.
You got to go middle of the road. That's where you got to go. I think we should go to our top 3.
Wait a second. It's the middle of the road.
It's the middle of the road.
That's a Pretenders song.
It is.
Yeah.
Very good. I saw the Pretenders 2 months ago.
Did you?
I did. 2nd time I've seen the Pretenders.
Actually, you saw a Pretender on Sunday night.
Yeah, that's very true. So Christiana the Pretenders at Citi Field actually it was late July or early August. I forget. What was they were opening up for the Foo Fighters. So them cool. Then
that's pretty cool.
And they were at and before that they were at the Capitol Theater in Passaic, New Jersey in 1981. That's how long it was in between.
That's pretty. That's a while ago. That's
That's a while.
Capitol Theater's not even there anymore.
Not for a long time. My band was one of the bands to play the last concert at.
What was the name of that band, Johnny?
That would be Brother.
Brother. Were there brothers in the band?
None at all. No. The guitarist had been in the band for years. Everybody had left. He kept the name going and the band going, and we all went into the band.
Okay.
So there we go.
That works.
Anyway. All right, let's do our top threes.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Well, actually, you know what? Before we do our top threes,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I just want to go down this list because we haven't mentioned this in an hour and 25 minutes. Happy National Chicken Cacciatore Day.
The thing is, I had a shtick for that.
And you forgot it.
I completely forgot to do it. But the punchline's almost been given.
Which is?
Well, in Revolutionary War, there was this.
This is ridiculously good, by the way.
Oh, it is.
It's insanely good.
It's as close as you're going to get to the smoked marks,
it really is. It really
is. As you're going to get. Any rate, but in Revolutionary War times, there was this one town in Jersey. I can't remember the freaking name of the town, but at any rate, they were all behind George Washington and the Patriots, and not the New England Patriots, because no one's behind the Patriots anymore, even their fans.
Just ask Bruguru.
Yeah,
and
Doug. But no, so they were all behind the revolution. But every now and then, one of their guys would get arrested by the British, and they couldn't figure it out.
Right.
They couldn't figure it out. And they figured out that maybe there's a spy in town. They weren't sure, but they had come together to try to figure out who could possibly be the spy. And they hear this squawking from outside, and they went outside, and they were being spied upon. And the squawking was because the guy, because it was in a barn.
Right.
He had stepped on one of the barnyard animals that started to squawk.
Sure.
And that was the first chicken to catch a Tory.
Oh, jeez. Did you have to go that far to get there?
Oh, yes. Like I said, I had a shtick for it, but there you go. There's
happy Chicken Shtick Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chicken Shtick Day. But
Happy Chicken Shtick Day. There you go. Our next one is Happy National Mushroom Day.
So we're going to do the top 3 mushrooms that aren't recreational. But what's the point of that, first of all? And second of all, most Americans only can name 2 or 3 mushrooms. So that wouldn't have worked.
One thing I love about mushrooms, a story I love is like, you of course you remember Sweaty Balls. On SNL, Alec Baldwin was
he was only ever outdone by Dusty Muffins.
Right. Well, along the same lines, right? Alec Baldwin was the NPR, was Anna Gasteyer and Molly Shannon.
Yep.
They did the NPR, and it was all like dry comedy or whatever.
Not as dry as Dusty Muffins.
Right, deadpan, right. But and then Betty White came on and did Dusty Muffins, right? Yeah. So Alan Cumming came on.
Oh, he's a great actor.
All right.
Love him.
And he brought, I forget, there wasn't like a name to the shtick, but what he brought was like he was talking about mushrooms. Like he was a mushroom aficionado, right? And he brought in all these mushrooms, and Anna Gasteyer and Molly Shannon started eating them. Right? And he's talking about the fact that some mushrooms, a lot of mushrooms, you got to be careful because they're wild mushrooms and they're psychedelic. Mm-hmm. And they're going to, you're going to have you're going to trip on them, so forth and so on. And as he's having this conversation, anybody that's seen this, what I'm talking about. It's on SNL. And as he's talking about this, the entire set starts spinning with these 60s, lava lamp colors going behind everything, and you could tell like they're going on a trip and all of this. And then towards the end of it, Molly Shannon's, spinning a little bit in her chair, and she goes, "And what kind of psychedelic mushrooms are these?" And he goes, and the set just goes right back to white, and he goes, "Oh no, these are portobellos."
Yeah, because I think white mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, and maybe shiitakes might be the most well-known three.
Right. White mushrooms, portobello, shiitake, Cipriani are good. Chanterelle.
Lion's mane.
Matt loves chanterelle mushrooms. I'm just leaving that there. So, yeah.
Lion's manes are one of my favorites.
No, mushrooms are good. Mushrooms are very good. I love the woody character. Like you're getting like oaky, woody flavors out of this.
It's the umami. It's umami.
It's the umami.
Right, it's umami. That's the one thing I do miss about living in Rhode Island is the farmers market. Yep. They had 2 mushroom vendors there. The
farmers market up by where Efren is and where Buttonwoods is now too, because Buttonwoods took over where
it begins with an R, doesn't it?
No, yeah. Hold on, I got it somewhere on my desk because I have something from them. Revival.
I know it's
Revival.
I was say
Revolve. They were in Revolve, right? Revival. They were in Cranston, and then they moved to. And
then they moved into the greater.
They moved to P-Town.
They didn't move to P-Town. That's a different thing.
I know. I used to call that's P-Town is Patterson. But
oh no, I'm thinking Provincetown, Massachusetts.
No.
That's a whole different thing.
That's a whole different thing. P-Town is Patterson, New Jersey, and I used to jokingly refer to Parsippany as P-Borough.
P-Borough.
Yeah. There we go. So anyway, happy National Mushroom Day. It's also happy I Love Lucy Day.
We're also talking about doing our top 3 favorite Lucy episodes, but we might save that for another time.
We will. We'll do that. We'll do that because there's a lot of shows from the past. I Love Lucy is that show's 70 plus years old now, right?
Yeah.
So, there's
Vegemite
vitamin. Vitamita vegemin.
Well, that's the right way, but it's just it was alcoholic.
When she was drinking, it's a vegemin.
That's what I'm doing.
Vegemin.
But it's really just celebrating the genius that was Lucille Ball, not just the comedic genius, but the business acumen and just the foresight and the vision that the woman had.
She was amazing.
She's responsible for Star Trek.
She is. She really is. If you didn't know that,
she's 100%.
She's 100% responsible for Star Trek.
Yep. Absolutely. So
there you
go.
So happy I Love Lucy Day, and then that brings us to what's going to lead us into the top 3.
My things there says so effing grouchy. One is because my job makes me grouchy.
Happy National Grouch Day. Today's National Grouch Day. Now it's just National Grouch Day. It's not Oscar the Grouch Day, but we're taking it there for the top 3. But.
Yeah, so for the top 3, what we're going to do, because Oscar the Grouch was in Sesame Street, and John and my generation, we grew up on Sesame Street. A lot that we learned from Sesame Street. And Oscar the Grouch was a very, not the most endearing character, but a very important character on the show. So what we came up with for the top 3 is top 3 Muppets.
Top 3 Muppets that we identify with. By the way, this is Dave. This is not, he wanted to do the top 3 Muppets that we identify with. And as a caveat that's not on here, and why we identify with them.
That aren't Oscar the Grouch.
That aren't Oscar the Grouch.
Because everybody can identify
with Oscar the Grouch. Oscar the Grouch. That's the top 3.
Hey, you kids, get off my lawn.
So top 3 Muppets that we identify with that aren't Oscar the Grouch and why we identify with them. So, Samurai, please take it away.
I forgot the third one. Hold on. Oh, yeah. So, number 3. It's a little bit of a surprise here because I'm not sure that everyone understands that he's a freaking Muppet. Is Yoda. And I identify
that's pushing it. Come on.
It's not pushing it. Who did the voice of Yoda?
Frank Oz.
And where's Frank Oz from?
Yeah. You're right.
He's from Sesame Street. Yoda's a fucking Muppet. Get over it. So I'm going to go with Yoda because I can identify with him because, one, growing up, I lived in Jackson. And so I kind of grew up in a swamp, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, I am just full of wisdom. And three, there are times where I say things quite backwards, quite much I say things. So I'm going with Yoda as my number 3, John.
All right.
All right. Number 2, I'm going to have to go with Cookie Monster.
Okay.
I love that cookie.
Thank you for sharing that.
I'm sorry, C is not for cauliflower.
Can you just finish eating and then tell me what you're saying?
No, I'm telling Cookie Monster. Remember when they tried to get him to be like a carrot monster or cucumber monster or cauliflower monster because he projected the wrong image towards children?
I do remember that. Yes.
It lasted a month.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely Cookie Monster because I am a bit of a Cookie Monster, Donut Monster, Cake Monster, Pie Monster.
Punster.
Pie Punster.
Pie Punster.
That's my number 2. My number 1 that I do identify with is Robin.
Robin.
Mm-hmm. This is Kermit's nephew.
Robin, Kermit's nephew.
The Muppet Show was one of the greatest shows ever to ever appear on TV.
Mm-hmm.
But so many things that they did with that show. But Robin was the guy, the kid behind the scenes. He made so many things happen. He held that show together. No one ever saw him. He never got the credit he deserved. And almost every job that I've had with the company I'm with,
mm-hmm.
that's kind of the roles that I always played.
There you go.
Was behind the scenes. I was always in operations.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to identify with Robin. Everyone's always yelling at him. He'd always keep that positive attitude and just make sure that things happened.
Right.
And so I will always identify with Robin.
There you go.
And if you don't bring up one of them, I will, or 2 of them, I'll bring it up as honorable mention when you're done. I don't want to steal any of yours.
There you go. All right. Well, I'll give you my 3. And there's a bunch we could talk about, right?
Yeah.
So you went, you went one that's not even in the Muppets or Sesame Street.
But he is a Muppet.
One that's in Sesame Street and one that's in
The Muppet Show.
The Muppet Show. I went 2 Muppet Show, 1 Sesame Street.
Okay.
So, my number 3, Rolf.
Well, because you play keyboard.
Because I play keyboards, piano, and everything else. So,
but Dr. Keith also plays the keyboardist.
Well, no, he does, and I could have even said animal, even though I have played drums, but only fucking around. I don't.
Now put it this way: if we go with top 3 Muppets,
right.
Animal would probably be number 1 for both of us.
Probably.
But
But Rolf, no, Rolf, piano, yada yada yada. There you go. Number 2. I'm going to give you 2, only because they are 1. Even though there's 2,
this would have been my honorable mention.
They are 1, and it's Statler and Waldorf.
Yep.
Okay. Grumpy sarcasm. Hello.
But it's not just that. John's probably like I am because we're both musicians. And even if we were musicians, we both know many great musicians.
Of course. So
we go see live music.
You gotta be critics, right? That's the other.
And we're so fucking critical of those who are up on stage. If they do something wrong, look.
Right.
So
exactly.
yeah. So absolutely.
Statler and Waldorf. And number 1. Have you seen me standing up?
I don't. I'm scared to know where you're going with this.
Big Bird.
Oh, Big Bird. You're not yellow.
Well,
You can be. You're scared of Jess. Yes.
From time to time, depending on the situation, right? But yeah, so Big Bird, absolutely identify with Big Bird. There you go. So Saller and Waldorf were the ones you're going to honorable mention there. Yeah. Okay. There.
The thing about Big Bird is there was a year. I forget what year it was. Mm-hmm. It was one of the worst years.
Hold that thought. Brian Boak just said Big Bird for the obvious reason. Yeah. There you go.
But it was. Who was it? Boom, boom, boom. I'm forgetting the third. Three.
There you go. Double Down Brewing.
There it is.
Yeah.
But it was three of the people that were responsible for the way I grew up all passed. And I can't remember the third one right now. Roddenberry. We were talking about Star Trek, but Roddenberry.
Gene Roddenberry, right.
Died the same year as Jim Henson.
Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
And there was somebody else. Damn, I can't remember who it is. At any rate, but that year, Henson died. Needlessly, he just didn't go to the doctor. Right? It was what, walking pneumonia he died of?
Yep.
Just didn't go to the doctor. He just decided it's nothing. I just don't feel well. And gone. But his funeral, they had his funeral at St. Patrick's, didn't they? Am I misremembering that?
At St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Yeah, it was at St. Patrick's. And when it didn't really hit me much when he first passed, but that two things hit me. One was the cover of Life magazine with Kermit just draped over his director's chair, lifeless. But during his funeral, I was watching the funeral, and the doors open. Big Bird walks in and starts singing "It Isn't Easy Being Green."
Oh, that's horrible.
It was just waterworks. It was like, okay, this is really nice. This is really nice. Like, why'd you have to do that to me? That was that was big. There was someone else that died the same year as the two of them.
Well, you'll have to find it.
Yeah, I gotta
welcome to the Morbid Show.
Yeah, well, it's just in memoriam.
It's in memoriam.
We're talking about the Muppets.
Sure.
I'll figure out who.
Best line. I don't know why to this day, and we were all much younger, and we weren't young when this came out. The Muppet movie. Remember when the Muppet movie came out?
Yeah.
We weren't super young. We were older. We were young, but older young, right?
Okay.
But I forget exactly what happened in the movie. It was the first one, and not the Muppets Take Manhattan. It was just the first one, the Muppet movie, right?
Right. Muppet movie.
And whatchamacallit, something happened, and somebody got hurt or could have gotten hurt or whatever, and Kermit was riding a bike. And he said, I'm glad it didn't happen, because if it did, I would have been gone with the Schwinn. See, that's where the puns come in for me anyway. So there you go. Can't find it, can you?
I can't remember it.
All right. You will, and we'll post it. If anybody's that interested, let us know, and we'll post
No one cares.
No one cares.
No.
You'll bring it up later. All right. So, looking back over the last 200 episodes, Dave.
Yeah.
Is there anything? What is the for you?
Mm-hmm.
What is the one thing that we've done? Not guest we've had or show we've done. The one thing for you that we've, as a team, done. Whether we've done it over and over again or did it once or whatever. What have we done that holds the key for you? Like that may that was probably the smartest thing or the best thing or the funniest thing or whatever.
You know the answer to this already.
Well, say it. Go ahead.
When we first started, we were that podcast, that beer podcast that sniffed our beers, told everybody we got in the middles, tasted our beer, gave every freaking tasting note that we had, talked about the brewery itself, the places of this beer, and basically bored ourselves as much as any listeners we had at the time.
We were finding our way.
We were
right?
fine. Yes,
as we all were, because this was 2020 and there was a pandemic happening, so we were all finding our way. So.
But one of the 3 listeners we had at the time made a comment, because part of what we did is we did talk about the brewery, we did talk about the industry, and they said that's the part that they enjoyed the most was when we started talking about that. Not so much about our takes on the beers. We still do that to a point, but it's quite brief.
Yeah, especially when we're drinking a beer from a brewery that guest owns the brewery. And we'll expand upon what we're drinking at that point. If we're drinking beer from that brewery, obviously that brewer or owner.
But that's not the key to the show. The key to the show is John and I have. John and I have been in the industry. John from a working side of it, me from a consumption side of it, for a very, very long time. We've seen so much come and go through those years, and so we have not only our historical insights, but in all of our travels, all the things we've done, we've met so many people, we know so many people in the industry, that we can deliver insights into craft beer historically, and from the background, and from the owners, the brewers, the writers, all these people. And we know a lot of people in the industry, and we're meeting more every single day. And it's the fact that we can bring their stories to you guys, talk to them, and liquor them up a little bit so that we get some of the stories that they don't always tell everybody. And to me, that I think is the crux of what we do and what I enjoy about the show. I've said it many, 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 many times is, John's the showrunner. John keeps the show on track. His job is to make sure that the important information gets out there. My job is, because I am just kind of almost a ADHD goofball, especially after I've had a couple, is to take things sideways. So John's job is to get like the core, the crux of what they do out. My job is to pull out the stories that they may not always be willing to tell. And don't get me wrong, there's times where John will do that as well. And there's times where John has gone off the rails and I've got to bring the show back on track.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
But we read each other to know what role we have to play at the moment.
Exactly.
But for the most part, John's playing he's playing the Abbott to my Costello sub for the most part, but it switches back and forth occasionally. But it's just the fact that we can get. By
the way, there's a certain small faction of our listenership that has no idea what you just meant by what you said.
Absolutely, and that's fine. We're okay with that. But it's the fact that we get the stories. We get the. Where did you come from? Where are you going? And what's the strange ass shit that's happened in between? And that's what I love about what we do. And that's why, I look forward to doing this every fucking week.
Absolutely.
Not to mention, it's also that I have a really good excuse to drink on a work night.
On a Tuesday night.
there's always that.
And work from home on a Wednesday. There you go.
Exactly. And here's the funny part is everybody at work knows why Dave works home on Wednesday.
From home on Wednesday.
Because he was drinking the night before. They all know what my side hustle is.
Exactly. Fun. To echo what Dave said. This industry it's about a lot of things, but the thing that it's the most about is the social aspect of everything about it, right? There's a lot of people out there that drink a lot of beer, but when it comes to this industry, and if you're ingrained in the industry, whether you're a consumer, whether you're a fanboy, if you will, or fangirl, That were the matter. Whether you're a worker in the industry, an owner, whatever it is. All right. The social aspect, this industry, craft beer specifically, is one big happy family. Even if you don't know each other, you know each other. That's the thing.
Yep.
This right here, not this beer, but beer itself. Beer itself.
Could be this. It could be this.
Doesn't matter. It unites everybody. It unites all of us in this industry. And
Michael Jackson put it perfectly. No, not that one. No, beer is the social lubricant.
It's a social lubricant, right? And I like to go. And I said this the other day too. It's not. It's a social lubricant. That's exactly what it is. We call it, like when you're golfing, it's swing juice, right? That's what we call it, right? But it's a social lubricant, 100%. But beyond that, all right. Even if you're only having one and you're not, or you're not having any or whatever, it's just the love of it, the love of the styles, the love of the industry, the love of the society, for that matter, as it is, really, right? It's not just industrial, right? It's societal. It really is, right? Mm-hmm. The love for that everybody has unites everybody, and we get together on the show to do just that, right? We want to further our relationships with people that we have on the show, whether we just met them, whether we met them a couple of times, whether we've known them for years, doesn't matter. We want to exude that relationship and that bond that we have through this wonderful thing that we have in front of us. This beverage, right?
And it's all, all of us say, well, I'm not going to talk for both. This time I'm going to talk for both of us. We are both happiest when we're in a brewery or a bar, and we're talking to people who have the same passion for the craft as we do. That's what I'm the most at ease, the most comfortable. That's when I'm the happiest. There's no worse feeling than when you're sitting in a brewery or a bar and no one there can speak at any level, where the beer tender is going through the motions.
Right. They
don't know the beer. The people around you, they're just there for whatever the highest ABV is, and there's no one to talk to. You feel like a complete, even though you're in a brewery, you feel like a fish out of water.
Right.
But when you're sitting, like this weekend, Carrie and I were in Brooklyn. We didn't even mention my tat, John.
We didn't even mention it yet. We'll finish this and
we'll finish that. But afterwards, we've gone to Hops Hill in Brooklyn. There's two of them, by the way.
So this weekend, this Saturday, you were in Brooklyn?
Yeah, you were in Brooklyn too.
I was in Brooklyn too.
Yeah,
we were together.
We didn't run into each other, but we're in different parts of Brooklyn. But Hops Hill, they've got two locations. They're great to go to, and just sitting in there and talking to the beer tender. Actually, in the other one that's near on the Barclays Center, I was talking to the owner. Had a blast talking to him because they love the craft beer.
Right.
They love to talk about it.
Right.
So
it's fantastic. And look, here's the thing, right? Is this? I love best. Like if I, as Dave was saying, if I walk into a brewery, I'll just give you for instance, there's many different scenarios you can play in here, but if I walk into a brewery and I sit down at the bar, and I'm not somebody that's going to say, "Hey, I own a brewery. Come over here and talk to me." I don't do that, right? I sit there and I look at the menu and I have a couple of beers and I engage the beer tender, right? And what I love the best, and the reason I'm saying this right now, what I love the best is when the beer tender engages me and I'm talking about the beer, but he or she are talking about the beer as well, their beer, specifically their beer.
Yep.
And we have a back and forth. And then on top of that, the bar guest next to me on my left starts getting into the conversation. And then the bar guest next to me on my right starts getting into the conversation. Then a couple that was sitting at the table behind me hears what's going on. and they get up and they bring their beer over and they start in the conversation. And all of a sudden, before you know it, there's 8 or 10 people in this group conversation that were all separate. And I'm not saying that I started it, right? I didn't. For all intents and purposes, the beer tender did, right?
Mhm.
But the fact that we all got together on this common ground and we all had this conversation, whatever it may be, wherever it goes, however it started and where it goes from there, doesn't matter. It's a social thing. It's a symbiotic relationship that we're all there for the same reason, for the love of this product, right? Whatever it may be. And it's common ground for all of us, and we're enjoying the hell out of every bit of it and enjoying each other's company. We just met each other, and that's the key right there, right? It really is, because I'll be honest with you, and Dave will echo this, guaranteed. And there are many people that I know that will echo this as well. I have made so many friends through craft beer.
Sitting on a bar stool.
And most of them, not all, but most of them immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like your old friends within 15 minutes of meeting them.
You will have, the thing is, at many bars and many breweries, you will have your best friend for the next 2 hours. And sometimes you don't go back with them. Sometimes you do. John and I still can't remember where the hell we met. We know it was 1 or 2 places, but it was
Cloverleaf.
It was a long time ago. It was either Cloverleaf or Carton. We're not sure.
No, it was before Carton opened, so it was Cloverleaf.
Yeah, so we've known each other for at least 15 years.
Right.
Some of my best friends, John, Gene, Brian, these come from craft beer. But what John was saying about it being social, one of my dearest friends, Meathead, and I call him Meathead with all love. His birthday is Monday, by the way, so
happy birthday, Meathead.
Yep, shout out to that.
Next Monday.
This coming Monday.
So he's exactly a week after James Harris.
Yes, he is.
Very good. And my aunt, by the way.
Cheers to your
happy birthday to my aunt. There you
go. And to your caterpillar, and to your praying mantis, and to
you went there.
But I brought him not kicking and screaming into the craft beer world. He asked to come in, and I brought him in, and we went around. We did a couple of we did a bunch of road trips and a bunch of breweries. We'd go in, and the brewery would be quiet when we got there.
Mm-hmm.
By the time we left, we'd have a group of people around us talking beer. One of the places we were in Connecticut.
Sometimes it's a challenge for me to do that, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, sometimes,
and I do it, and he does too. So there.
We walked into a brewery once, and everyone is sitting at the bar, just kind of looking into their beer. Every now and then, one person might turn to the other one, but that was about it. By the time we left, everyone was standing up in a circle talking. Mm-hmm. We went into one brewery. We had a bunch of people going, talking beer and all that. One guy actually was getting the stink eye from his wife, who was saddled with his 3 kids at the other table. He's like, I'd better get back, otherwise I'm going to be divorced tomorrow. So you get the conversation going. You're going to get other people involved. And, Meathead loved coming out. He's got 2 young kids himself, so getting him out on, on a little road trip is really, really hard now. But he used to love coming out and going and doing that. And he'd always like, how do you do this? I said, it's not just me. You're part of this. You're part of this. They're part of this. As John said, the beer tender is part of this. The atmosphere at the brewery is part of this, because it's got to be conducive to that kind of thing. And it's so, like John said, it's social. Mm-hmm. And him and I both just love the fact that you can get that going and just drag people in. It's almost a snowball effect at times.
Right.
You gotta love it.
Gotta love it. All right. Talk about your tat, and then we'll end the show.
Oh yeah. So the reason I was in Brooklyn is because I already have a couple of tattoos, but I decided to get a third one. I figured this was a long time coming. John's got the picture of it.
I do.
You have it loaded up, or
I don't. I will put it up on.
okay. So I'll talk about it a little bit.
Talk about it.
So I went in, and the funny thing is that the first 2 tats I got, they're most people know me, know that I'm not only a huge Star Wars fan, but prior to Star Wars, my biggest love was Lord of the Rings. So the first 2 are Lord of the Rings tats that honor my children, and people told me that if you're going to get a Lord of the Rings tattoo, you've got to go into New York City. That's where the best Tolkien tattoo artists are. I said, I'm not going into fucking New York just to get a goddamn tattoo. So I went to a tattoo parlor in Boonton, New Jersey, because I live close there. And Jay there did my first. And then when I was ready for my second, they had closed up in Boonton and they'd opened up in Brooklyn. So I had to go into New York City anyway to do my second Lord of the Rings tat. So definitely, and you can see my shirt here. This is the Electric Lotus tattoo. They're in Brooklyn. They are on Fulton, just north of Barclays Center. So that's why I was in the Barclays Center area and the places that I hit at the time. And so I went in this Saturday to get my third. I was there for about an hour while Jay inked me up. If these guys are fantastic. If you give them a design for a tattoo, Jay wants to know what it's about. He wants to know what the importance is to you. He wants to know everything about that too. He is very invested in what you are putting on your body, and he will be very, very honest with you. If you are torn between this or that, he's going to be very honest with you. He's not going to give you an opinion that's just going to make him more money. He actually talked me out of doing something with my first tattoo that would have made him more money. But he said it's pointless to do that. So this is why I trust him as a tattoo artist. He's about the art. So John, did you get it loaded up?
I did. Hold on 1 second. It's loading right now.
And so you'll get to see why this has been a long time coming and why it's germane to the show.
Germaine. It's not German. It's germane.
Germaine. And germane,
there it is right there.
There it is right there. That is on my left calf. As you can see, it takes up a good chunk of my left calf. And when I said out earlier, the reason I said out is because I had banged it against the chair, John, and still quite tender.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
So we're getting close to the time where it's going to start peeling. And for those who are just listening, it is the Beer Samurai logo on as a tattoo, and he did a fantastic job. Shout out to Nicole Duncalf as well. Nicole Duncalf is the artist who actually inked the final version of the logo, God, years and years and years and years ago. So now it's a tattoo indelibly upon my left calf.
There you go. All right. But shout out to that. What was the name? Say it again, because we'll put it up. We'll
Electric Lotus tattoo. I hashtagged it on the post on our Facebook page.
There you go. Fair enough. All right, cool. And they're in Brooklyn.
And they're Fulton Street, just north of the Barclays Center.
Fulton Street, just north of the Barclays Center, not too far away from where St. Gambrinus was.
St. Gambrinus is gone now. That's one of the Hop Hills.
Hop Hills, right? Exactly.
The other Hop Hills is on Fulton, but quite east of there, and sure. They're between actually 2 German beer places, as a matter of fact.
Gotta love it.
Black Forest is one of them. I can't remember the name of the other one.
Gotta love it.
So yeah, a lot going on there.
All right. Cool. All right.
Well, okay, so we're going to take a race here. While John does the outro, I'm going to pee.
There you go. Well, on that note,
we'll see if I can finish before he finishes.
I don't know if he's going to be able to do that.
I doubt.
In any event, we will wrap up the show on that note for today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.logroom.com. It's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, which is now X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Tonight was a little later. But for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes, pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you will find the Logroom Guys Craft Beer Podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you next week, folks. Take care. Cheers.